Alright, what is up, my horror-loving homies? So, first off, I'm gonna say we're gonna ignore the hair. I'm too lazy to go grab a hat and I just took a shower and I actually decided to wash my hair for once. And it's looking kind of whack right now. Anyway, my crappy little hairdo aside, I am back with another one of Cody's campfire stories. And so this one is a little bit more. This one is still ongoing. I know it doesn't really make a lot of sense. How's it going to be like a story if it is still currently active? But that's because this is the weird shit that goes on in my house. Like literally every day something weird happens here. Like literally not even an hour ago, somebody walked up the stairs and like down the hallway. So I went downstairs to talk to my parents, like, hey, did one of y'all go upstairs in the last 5 minutes? They're like, no, we've been chilling down here. But like my house is a little bit older, so the floorboards creak. Like it's very distinctive, and when somebody's walking and when it's just a normal creak. And especially like right outside my door, it's this entire little section. It's like this little L in the hallway. The whole hallway, every step you take, it creaks, and it doesn't just randomly creak like that. It only creaks when somebody's walking on it. And I heard the little footsie steps. He's up the door, like up the stairs and going around the hallway. Anyway, this is just gonna be a story of a bunch of weird stuff that has happened in my house. Alright, so I'm gonna try to go just about as chronologically as I can remember. So, going back to about when I was a sophomore in high school, I remember one morning going downstairs before school, and my brother worked overnight at the time, so he'd probably go into work around about 8 p.m. and get off around 4 or 5 a.m. So at the time, I was getting up for school, and that would be around 6, 7 o'clock. And I woke up one morning and I went downstairs and I was talking to him, and he's standing in the kitchen, which is a little weird because normally he would be asleep at this time because he would have got home from work about an hour, 2 hours ago. He would be asleep. And he was standing in the kitchen and I'm talking. Well, I walk in and I see him, so I started talking to him. It's like, hey, like, what's up? And he's like, did I not wake you up? I was like, what? He was like, literally about 10 minutes ago, there's this pan that we had drying. It was a big cast iron skillet, so you have to wash it and dry it immediately after you use it. And it was drying on the countertop beside the sink. He told me how he was laying there in bed and all of a sudden he hears this really loud bang. And he goes into the kitchen, which is because that's where the bang came from, and that pan just sitting there rattling around on the floor, like it literally had just fallen. And that's kind of weird as hell. I'm sitting there talking to him. He's like, no, I didn't hear that. And he's sitting there like, that's really weird. He was kind of shooketh a little bit from it. I was like, okay, that's really weird. I don't know what to do with that. Now the second thing, or I say the second thing, but like the next thing I really remember, this one happened in my room. And this was around the same time. I think it was still my sophomore year. So I used to have a desk. It was a wooden desk and it had rounded edges. So me, for some reason, I don't really know why I enjoyed this fact so much, but I had a coaster that was a circle, nice and circular like that, and my desk was rounded. So essentially, if this was the edge of my desk rounded like that, this was the coaster, and I could sit it, and it was perfectly flush all the way around because of how it was a circle coaster, and it was a rounded corner on the desk. I know it's kind of stupid, but like it made me happy, so I don't really care what you think, okay? And I would always do that, and that was how I knew this story happened. So again, one night I'm laying in bed and I'm laying there trying to go to sleep. I think it's about like 12:30 at night or the morning. I don't really know how you are about that. So I'm laying there, and all of a sudden I hear this very loud bang in my room, and it comes from behind me because I have my back turned to my desk, and it was that very was a very distinct sound, and I knew it immediately because I used to have, I would put water on it, and this, like the condensation and the water would make like this little suction action, and the coaster would stick to my cup. Whenever I picked it up, it would fall and it would hit the desk, and it would just make this very distinct noise. And that was the same noise I heard, and I was sitting there, like, my heart instantly started racing. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a pussy, and I'm gonna check this in the morning. So I'm sitting there, I go to sleep, and I wake up in the morning, and remember how I said it's always on the edge, perfectly nice flush level? It wasn't. I was literally sitting like in the middle of my desk now, and that was, that was pretty spooky. But I tried to write it off and just keep on going about my day. It's like, I'm not too concerned about this anymore. It's gonna keep going. Okay. This is when it gets weirder. So fast track to, again, recently. I don't know what it is about recently, but I swear, whether it was my endeavors at the freaking abandoned asylum, or that gravesite that I told y'all about, I said, oh yeah, I'll dare the curse. We'll see what happens. But there's been like a lot of weird stuff recently, and now like it's gotten. At first it was my brother, then it was me, but now like my dad is seeing it as well. We were sitting in their room, which is down the hall, and we both thought that we heard my mom coming up the stairs and into the room. So we both stopped and we looked. Nothing. And, I turned and was like, hey, you heard somebody walking up the stairs and down the hall, right? And he said, yeah, I did. And so we called. I was like, hey, hey, mama, like you upstairs? No, nothing. She was outside at the time. And what's weird is this is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And we're sitting there like, okay, that's weird. And so my dad is sitting on a chair facing the door down the hallway. And I was standing kind of at like a 45-degree angle from the doorway, or like facing away from the doorway. So it's kind of like over my shoulder, but out of my peripheral vision, I could still see down the hallway. And I'm sitting there and something catches my eye. I thought I see somebody walking down the hallway. So I turn and I look. I'm like, hey, did you see that? He was like, yeah, I could have just swore I saw somebody walking down the hallway, or turning the corner into the hallway. I was like, this is kind of getting like, this is getting weird. Shit's getting weird. This is in my house, and I don't know. And take it even a step further. Why I genuinely believe there's like a ghost or something in my house. Is it's one of those things where like it just tends to siphon my energy, like my mood. If I'm in a good mood, as soon as I step inside, like everything's just kind of drained from me. And I don't really know what that is or why that is. And it's the same way, like other people have talked about. My brother talked about the same thing. And, even to a certain extent, my dad has talked about it. But whenever I'm here, like I'll just get these random waves of emotions, whether I'll just be sitting there, I'll be really happy. And then all of a sudden it's like, you know what, this sucks. Like, screw this. I don't want to do anything. Or if I'm ever really motivated, just something out of nowhere will hit me and I just get like really like down. I just don't want to do anything anymore. I just don't want to deal with anything. I was like, I'm just going to schlep on about the rest of my day. Like, it really can take any positivity, any like happiness, and just replace it with like this very mellow kind of, not like depressed, but like this lack of energy and just a not good mood. I have no idea what it is. But like the weird part is like it's going on every day. Like there's something every day here. But yeah, I just figured I'd share that. So if you ever like go missing in the middle of the night, or you see me like floating, or if there's someone like standing behind me in the video or something at any point in time, there's weird stuff that goes on. Like there really is, and I have no idea. You guys remember when Snapchat filters first became a thing? It happened to both me and my brother. We'd be sitting there messing around with Snapchat filters, and just at random parts of the house, be sitting there, and one would just pop up like behind us, like over the shoulder, and like it would like move and shit. I have no idea. It's weird. There's some weird going ons here. Anyway, it's been a Cody's Campfire story. This one was very not so good because I don't really know how to talk about this, and trying to remember the details is a little weird. So I tried not to think about these because like it's my house. I'm supposed to be able to like sleep here. I'm chilling. Like, look, I even have the cross on the wall, which that's another story, man. the weird shit that happens to me when I sleep and like the weird dreams I have, I'm literally gonna roll straight out of this into a video about this weird dream I had. And I yeah, this comes back, trust me. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. Probably nobody made it this far, so if you did, I want you to tell me the word I'm gonna say in about 7 seconds. And if you do, I'll give you $5. Okay? Flabbergasted. All right, love you guys. Peace.